If you're a longtime collector, then you likely know the legacy behind the Super Master Stars piece figures. Many of the figures within this series are considered holy grails, and many collectors are often considered lucky to own even one copy of any Super Master Stars piece figure. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing the first ever Super Master Stars piece figure and all 8 of his variants, the Super Saiyan Son Goku. Let's see if these crazy expensive figures were worth the asking price. And also, pray for my bank account. We do Dragon Ball figure reviews, news, and more here on the channel, so if you don't want to miss out on the hottest releases, make sure you subscribe. For those who don't know, Super Master Stars piece figures were the most premium figures released within Bandai's Ichiban Kuji lottery. They were large, highly detailed figures with very limited quantities released. They mostly released in 4 different colored versions, but today's Goku had 8 different versions released. The 01 was the brush, the 02 was the original, the 03 was the tones, the 04 was the 2 dimensions, the 05 was the brush 2, the 06 was the gold, and there was a Xenoverse 2 collector's edition, plus the Chinese Lunar New Year version. This Goku was a huge collaboration between notable names in the Dragon Ball sculpting world. The sculptor of the figure was Yamashita Manabu, who was also behind other notable figures like the SMSP SSJ4 Goku, Gogeta, Goodbye Goku, and even the SSJ Vegeta from SMSP. The 2 color producers behind the figure were Hiroshi Hiroyuki, who's apparently painted quite a few figures in the industry, but none from Dragon Ball. And the other color producer is a surprise, as I think they may have been better suited as the sculptor. It's Nakazawa Hiroyuki. He's behind many notable Goku figures like the ones from the FES series. The original 4 Gokus released via Ichiban Kuji on April 29th, 2016. The 05 and 06 versions released on September 24th, 2016 during the re-release of the set, with the 2 new color variations being Gold Goku and the Brush 2. The Xenoverse 2 version released as a collector's edition with the game of the same name on October 28th, 2016. And finally, the Lunar New Year version released in December 2016 as a Chinese exclusive release. Something you'll notice during this portion of the video is that I have a lot of different looking boxes for these figures. The reason for that is that I bought some overseas versions of these in order to cut down on cost. The overseas versions are the exact same figures from their Japanese counterparts, but their boxes look a bit different. So let's start with the Japanese versions, aka the Ichiban Kuji releases. These boxes are black with a black and white shot of the Goku figure all around the box. Each box has 2 major indicators when you're trying to verify its authenticity: the Toei animation sticker on the top and their figure's color number on the front. I have the Japanese versions for the 02, the 05, and the 06. The overseas versions for the rest of these have a windowed box structure. The Manga Dimensions has a windowed box with key effects behind them, as does the 01, 03, and the Lunar New Year version that I got. The final box that's the same no matter what region you buy it from is the Xenoverse 2 collector's version. This originally came with a larger collection of stuff and a steelbook case for the game, which I don't have. Maybe one day. Alright, enough about the boxes. We all know why you're here. Let's talk about each figure. Now, clearly the sculpt between all 8 figures is the exact same. Goku is based on his popular illustration drawn by Akira Toriyama for the Daizenshu guidebook. This is also based on Goku's look from his first battle as a Super Saiyan against Frieza. Each one of these figures has a different color to them that brings a slightly different vibe. The 01, aka the brush, has more realistic colors for Goku, plus shading all over the figure. The 02, aka the original, has colors closer to the original manga, but no shading. Frankly, I think he's the best looking of the bunch, and my personal favorite. The 03, aka the tones, is a black and white version of the figure with no paint. I really love how his hair is still white on this version. The 04, aka the 2 dimensions, is the heavily shaded version to emulate pages of a manga for the figure. And I have to say that this one is easily my least favorite of the entire bunch. His paint is so sloppy and rounded. Toriyama's shading on his illustrations were a lot more angular, so this really does miss the mark completely. The 05 is the brush 2. Basically, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a second version of the brush with slight color differences. Goku's orange orange pants are paler, his blue shirt is much darker, and the yellow of his hair is an in-between shade of yellow between the 01 and the 02. I feel like this is more like the original 2 if I'm being honest, because it looks like it has almost no shading in comparison. The 06 is arguably the most unique one of the bunch, as he's the gold. They went with a metallic gold finish on his hair, which is incredibly different than nearly every Goku in this set. The Xenoverse 2 is very similar to the brush versions, but with some slight differences as well. The big difference is a heavier emphasis on his shading all throughout the figure, and his hair has a slightly glossy finish to it. It's not bad, and I actually think he's superior to the original brush and brush 2. He's one of the cheapest ones to buy at least, so he's a great option for budgeted collectors. And finally, the Chinese Lunar New Year is a variation of the manga dimensions and has the gold metallic finish like the 06. I think the manga dimensions effect is a little better here than the other one, and the colors are very unique for Goku. I believe he's the Chinese flag colors since he was an exclusive for their region. When I originally scripted this video, I was admittedly negative about the sculpt for the figure. I still have major issues with his pose and how boxy he's shaped. It comes across as a bit stiff and not as fluid as some other figures from this moment. But the more I recorded each figure and examined their details, the more I fell in love with it. Goku's big hair is textured and as big as it looked back during the Namek saga. It's not quite as fluffy as some may want to see Namek SSJ Goku, but it's pretty dang close and accurate. Goku's face is so menacing and really captures the rage and determination he had back during his fight with Frieza. Goku's musculature is also highly detailed, with veins popping all around his body, emphasizing just how strong he looks. Of course, the battle damage is highly detailed and really gives the figure some much needed life. I've noticed some balancing issues with the figures, specifically my 04, where they fall forward. It must have something to do with the foot being warped slightly upward at the tip, which I'm not really sure why they elected to do that. The figure would have been far better balanced if his feet were just flat. But really, a lot of my negatives are nitpicks, as the entire sculpt between all of the figures is magnificent. These figures have a few options that I'd recommend pairing them with, whether you want a scaled collection or a variety of things. Obviously, they look amazing together as a set, but he goes great alongside other SMSP figures. I'm sure the Vegeta is the perfect companion for him, but I'm still working on getting his complete set. Here are some comparisons with him for you to consider. I bought all of these figures from 3 specific places: eBay, Mercari, and Zen Market. I basically looked everywhere I could to find the best prices in the condition that I wanted for these figures. It took some time, patience, and money, but I eventually did it. Here's the cheapest to most expensive in my own experience for all of the figures that I got. The Manga Dimensions was the cheapest for $207 in his overseas version. I got the Brushes overseas version as well for $495. The Xenoverse 2 cost me $541. The Tones was $688 and was also the overseas version. The Chinese Lunar New Year was $773. Now the rest of these are the Ichiban Kuji versions straight out of Japan. The original was $866. The Brush 2, I got him for $1,297. And finally, the most expensive one of the bunch was the gold for $2,223. Some of these felt impossible to find, so admittedly, I did make some trigger-happy decisions whenever I could find a listing, specifically the gold. And I do want to give a shout out to my boy Stardust for helping me find the right listing for some of these figures. So yeah, if you want a complete set of these figures, you might end up spending as much as I did, which was around $7,000 before shipping and importing. Frankly, I don't know how I justified paying for all of these, but here we are. I'm certainly insane and a sicko, but if you want to take on the challenge and go on this journey of collecting all of the Super Master Stars piece figures, then good luck. They're getting harder to find, and they're not getting any cheaper. With all of this in mind, is the SMSP Goku worth the asking price? And frankly, it depends. I think reasonably, just getting one of these is pretty good, especially if you go with one of the cheaper offerings. My recommendation would be the Xenoverse 2 Goku. He is the easiest to find, he's pretty affordable, and I think he has a lot of the same qualities that most people would want to see in a figure like this. If you want the definitive best one out of all of them, definitely get the O2, the original. The colors pop so nicely, he's got such saturated colors, he's got that fluffy white hair, he's just beautiful. But if you're insane like me and you want to get all of them, I don't really know if they're quite worth the asking price. I think if you want to flex your collector's muscles, you're a serious collector, and you just need to have the top of the top, the best of the best, or considered the best of the best, which is subjective at the end of the day, then yeah, go ahead, take on the challenge. I think most serious collectors are going to have at least some group of Supermaster Stars Piece figures. But if you had to skip any, I don't recommend either of the brushes or the Manga Dimensions. They're just not that great, and frankly, my Manga Dimensions just keeps falling forward, so he makes me pretty pissed off most days. But this is all to say that yes, I still think that this is one of the greatest Super Saiyan Goku figures of all time. But thank you for watching today's video, guys. If you made it this far in the video and you enjoyed it, of course, subscribe and leave a like if you have not already. Comment your thoughts down below. I would love to discuss this figure with you guys. It's a legendary figure. And if you have any tips for other collectors out there, of course, go ahead and recommend those. If you want to join our community, we have a Discord link in the description that you can tap, jump on in. Join in on the fun. We have a Kuji tracker. We have buy, sell, trade. We have a great community that you can get a part of. And if you do want to support the channel even further beyond, consider becoming a YouTube member. Starts only at $3 a month. And you'll get early access to videos like this. You'll get extra entries to giveaways that I'm doing. And I am still brainstorming on other perks that members can get. So if you do have feedback, I'd love to hear that. But either way, I appreciate you guys for watching. I think that's all I got for you guys today. So till the next video, I'll see you all later.